Hi everyone, it's Julianne here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing with you all another mini Slimline card using some more goodies from Scrappy Tail Crafts. Now I'm going to be using their brand new Rose Trellis stamp set, which is this really pretty 6x8 design. And for my card today, I'm going to be using the bench, as well as both of those cute critters and the pillow that are all included in this set. So I'm going to start out by stamping each one of those images using some Memento Tuxedo black ink. And I'm going to be stamping them all onto a sheet of expressive blending cardstock so that way I can do some Copic coloring. I'm just going to stamp each one of those images a couple of times to make sure that I get a nice solid black outline since this is a brand new stamp set. And once I have those all stamped out, I'll then start working on my coloring. With all of my coloring complete, I'm now going to come in and use the coordinating dies in order to cut out each one of my images. Now originally, as you can see, I did color in my cat orange, but you will see here in a little bit that I do go back and stamp and color in an additional cat in gray, and I'm going to use that one on my final card. So I'm just going to temporarily adhere down each one of those dies using some washi tape, and then I'll run all of those through my die cutting machine. Next, I'm going to start working on my background. I've gone ahead and trimmed down a piece of Ranger Distress Watercolor cardstock to 3.5 by 6.5, and I've placed a brick stencil over that cardstock, just temporarily adhering that down again using some washi tape, and I'm going to be coming in and doing some ink blending. Now originally I thought I would just ink blend the bricks using antique linen for just like a subtle background, but I really just wanted more. So I'm going to put some of that antique linen distress ink directly on my work surface, and then I'm going to be coming in with some Nouveau Glimmer Paste in the color Moonstone, and I'm going to be mixing those together, and then using a craft knife, I'm just going to spread that over my stencil, and I'm not going to be covering my entire stencil. I'm going to be leaving a rough edge around the edges of my cardstock panel, and once I'm happy with how it looks, I'm then going to remove my stencil and I'll just place my background off to the side to completely dry before moving on. So like I said, I did place my background off to the side to completely dry. I did end up leaving that overnight, hence the new shirt, but it definitely did not take that long. Now I've gone ahead and pulled out my score buddy, and I'm going to score out my card base. I've trimmed down this cardstock to 6.5 by 7.5, and I'm going to be scoring it at 3 3/4. And then I'll come in and enforce that score line using my bone folder. And I'm going to be working on adhering my stencil background panel directly down to my card base. And once my panel had dried, I did go ahead and trim that down to 3 1/4 by 6 1/4. So I'm going to be adhering that panel down to my card base, and I've gone ahead and added some foam adhesive behind that, and I'll just be centering that onto my card base, leaving that nice white border around each of my edges. Now once that's all adhered, I'm then going to start working on adhering my images. I'm going to start off by adhering the bench down first, and I've gone ahead and added some foam adhesive behind that, and then I'll just be adhering that directly down to my background, kind of off-centering it so that way I can place my sentiment on the right-hand side of my card. I'm then going to adhere that cute little puppy as well as one of the pillows, and I'm going to adhere it so he looks as though he's sleeping on the bench. Now I've gone ahead and pulled back out my MISTI so that way I can add a sentiment on the inside of my card along with the sleeping cat that I colored in earlier. This stamp set has a really pretty script for the happy birthday sentiment, so I knew I really wanted to use that on my card today. So I'm going to be placing my card base inside of my MISTI, and then I'll just center that sentiment onto the inside of my card base, and I'll be stamping it down using some more of that Memento Tuxedo black ink. Once I have that all stamped out, I'm then going to add some liquid adhesive behind my cat, and I'll be adhering that directly on top of my sentiment as well on the inside of my card. Now, in order to finish off my card for today, I'm going to be adhering an additional sentiment on the front of my card, and I have just stamped that onto a piece of light purple colored cardstock that matched that pillow, and I'm going to be adhering it down using some more of that foam adhesive. And once I have that all adhered, that's going to complete my mini Slimline birthday card using the Rose Trellis stamp and die set from Scrappy Tail Crafts. I hope that you like this card as much as I do. I really love that simple but yet super glittery stenciled background. I will have a list of all of the supplies that I used today in the description down below. And if you haven't already, make sure that you please do subscribe to my channel for even more card making ideas. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you all next time, and happy crafting!